Hey everybody, and welcome to the Whcc booth at Imaging USA. And I am standing next to Gail Herendeen, who has become a dear friend of mine and White House Custom Color over the last few years. Yeah. So we really appreciate you swinging by and hanging out with us. For everybody that's listening along today, Gail, will you tell them who you are, where you're from, and what you like to do in your studio?
Yeah, I'm from Fort Wayne, Indiana, northern part of the state. I do a fair amount of seniors and some business work as well.
Yep. And some families.
And some what?
And some
Families, yes.
Yes. We just had a big conversation about that this morning. So it's probably been about a year ago, maybe a little bit more, on a webinar with Matt Matthews and Sean Brown and myself, that there was some significant light bulbs that turned on for you. And you've been making a lot of changes in your business since then, moving to in-person sales, changing your format, and you've had a tremendous amount of success that has come from that transition. Can you take a couple minutes and just tell everybody that's listening along today kind of some of the major changes that you've made?
Yeah. Well, a huge change is that I used to upload all the proofs, I call them proofs, to my website, and then from there the client would pick out their favorites, okay? And then I would polish their images and they would download them. And if they would need prints, then I was there to assist. So the big, huge change for me this year was to dive hook, line, and sinker into in-person sales. So after I shoot, it really is super hard for me, but I've taken the advice of don't send a preview, don't send a teaser, don't text anything out, even though that goes against everything I want to do. Like, every bit of me wants to do it, but I don't do it. So I'm saving all the excitement then for the preview session, where we have scheduled at the time that the shoot is done, and then they come and we go through all the pictures, narrow it down to their favorites. So my big hesitation, the reason why I didn't want to do that is I said, oh my goodness, I would never want to make those personal and very personal choices in the presence of somebody else. Like, I would want time to pour over it.
If you were the client.
That's what I'm saying. That's why, as a photographer, I never did it that way, because I was saying as a client, I would not want to do it that way. But can I just tell you, like, that was the best advice, because it's amazing how much you can help with the decisions, and how much, if you have 4 similar images, how helpful it is for the client to be able to see, okay, now we've eliminated one, now let's eliminate one more. And it makes so much sense that I don't know if you could ever really tell someone how much sense it makes until they experience that. For me as a photographer, I'm learning to see what people are drawn to. Instead of just looking at their finals saying, oh, I wouldn't have guessed that one, now I'm hearing their thought process. I'm seeing how quickly people make a decision for a yes or a no on a photo. Like, I can stew over the photo for an awful long time, but when people are going to tell me a yes on a picture, it is that quick. So it's great for the client. It's been a huge learning thing for me. So.
But you've done tremendous at it, and you've really embraced a whole new thought process, and your business has followed that new thought process, which is really cool. So one thing I want Gail to share with our listeners today, you do something that I've never heard of anybody else doing. And you're building gallery walls for your clients. And now anybody who's listening along is probably like, well, I do gallery walls, I design, installations, wall groupings, but you're taking it to a whole nother level. So can you explain how you are doing this and building these images or these gallery walls from your images, from client images, and how that process kind of works? I know you explained it to me this morning, but I think it'd be really beneficial for everybody following along on YouTube to hear how you're doing that.
You mean like go to your basement, starting with that step? Okay,
yes.
All right. So again, as a mom, I know that by the time my kids got to be seniors, you're living on a mountain of photos and a mountain of memories, and that is daunting. That's actually haunting, I think, to a lot of people about my age with kids that age. So I say, do you have photos in frames in your basement? And almost everybody does.
Like boxes.
boxes of them. Yeah, they've been on the walls before. Now, yes, in Indiana we do have basements, so I know this is not going to apply to everybody, but in Indiana we have basements, and they do tend to collect a bunch of everything. So I say, what I'd love you to do is go down to your basement, get all those frames up, take them all apart, and take out your photos, sort them by size, donate your frames to Goodwill, and then look at that pile, and let's think about your favorites and what would be meaningful to not leave in the basement, but rather put up on your wall. And so then by doing that, by getting them to think about their old photos, it's pretty easy to build a gallery wall because everyone has old photos that they absolutely love but don't know what to do with. So then I can combine the senior pictures with the old photos and make some pretty cool walls. A little bit of a trick sometimes because some of these images will have tones that are hard to overcome. So a lot of times my gallery walls would be in black and white, which is a really cool look, and because you can take so many different styles of images, put them together in a black and white wall, and it looks so cool. So
Well, I think that's such a cool idea, and the way that you're pricing these, you're actually building your markup into the products that you're selling, the frame pieces, and they're priced how? How are you making your money off of all the time you're investing in designing these gallery walls?
well, they're probably not priced high enough, right? Because I do take, it's the same price as I would be price if I were taking a senior's picture and framing it with you. So there's not really a special recipe there, but I do find that people do like things that are a little bit more clear, because I don't want to say, well, this frame with your old image is this much, but your frame with the senior's images is that much. So that's how I price. Did I answer your question?
Yep, totally. And I think that that's a really good point for everybody listening along to understand, is that Gail is not discounting that the images that you're using for the gallery wall that you haven't taken. It's your full retail price that people are investing in, so that is increasing your sale, even though they're not from the senior session, which I think is a great business practice and a way to build sales, because you're selling multiple pieces, which is great. So I just want to say that we're proud of you. It's been great to get to know you, to watch your light bulb come on, and to have good conversations, and your willingness to learn. And for people listening along, we talk to a lot of photographers every day, every month, every year that have goals and have desires, and it takes the want to change and the willingness to change and adapt and to learn. And Gail, you have been a sponge as far as learning goes, and it's going really well for you. It's really fun to watch your business grow and to watch your style grow and your product line grow. So thanks for coming along and doing that with White House. We really appreciate it. And thanks for doing the interview with us today, even though we had to chase you down the hallway to do it. We hope you have a great trip back to Indiana. And thanks again. And thank you for joining us. And we will be back with you soon.